Dear lovely learners, welcome back to MIT's Care. Today we dive into one of the most celebrated works of English literature, The Merchant of Venice, adapted from adapted from the immortal pen of William Shakespeare. This story presents a rich blend of friendship, love, sacrifice, justice, and mercy, and it remains a timeless piece taught in classrooms across the world. In this video, we'll explore the text in depth. We begin with a brief biography of Shakespeare, move into a detailed analysis of the characters, and cover the themes worked through an elaborate summary. And finally, end with a thoughtful conclusion. Let's begin our literary journey. Biography of William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare, often called the Bard of Avon, was born in 1564 in Stratford-upon-Avon, England. He is widely regarded as the greatest playwright and poet in the English language. Over his lifetime, he wrote 154 sonnets, 2 long narrative poems, 38 plays, including tragedies, comedies, and historical dramas. His works explore the complexities of human nature, love, jealousy, ambition, betrayal, and morality. Shakespeare's influence on literature, theatre, and even everyday English is unmatched, and his plays continue to be performed and adapted across the globe. He passed away in 1616, but his legacy lives eternally in the hearts of readers and performers. Now I will explain or inform or introduce the characters of this story. First one is Antonio. Antonio is the central figure, the merchant in the title. He is generous, compassionate, and selfless. He lends money without interest and supports the poor, and deeply loves his friend Bassanio. Antonio's willingness to risk his own life for friendship reveals the nobility of his character. Yet his confidence sometimes borders on carelessness, especially when he accepts Shylock's dangerous bond. Next character is Bassanio, and the second character of this story. Bassanio is a charming young nobleman whose expansive lifestyle often places him in debt. Despite his flaws, he is sincere, courageous, and genuinely in love with Portia. Bassanio's ability to choose the correct casket shows his wisdom. He values inner worth over outward glitter. His loyalty to Antonio is another highlight of his character. Next character is the Portia's character. Portia is one of the Shakespeare's most brilliant female characters. She embodies beauty, intelligence, compassion, and remarkable legal wisdom. When Antonio's life is at risk, Portia disguises herself as a young lawyer and uses her intellect to outwit Shylock. Her famous speech on mercy is one of the most quoted in English literature. She symbolizes wisdom, humanity, and moral strength. Shylock is the antagonist moneylender. He is strict, calculating, and deeply resentful of Antonio, who lends money freely and criticizes Shylock's high interest rates. Shylock's insistence on claiming a pound of flesh shows his desire for revenge. However, he isn't entirely a villain. His bitterness comes from years of insult, discrimination, and loneliness. Shakespeare portrays him as both cruel and tragic. And then final character is the Duke. The Duke of Venice is the authoritative figure who oversees the trial. although he sympathizes with Antonio, he remains committed to justice. He represents the fairness and dignity of Venetian law. Now I will explain the theme of this story. First one is mercy versus justice. This is the heart of the story. While Shylock demands strict justice, Portia argues that mercy is a divine quality that blesses both the giver and the receiver. Second one, appearance versus reality. The casket test shows that outward beauty can be deceptive. True value lies beneath the surface. Third one, friendship and loyalty. Antonio's sacrifice for Bassanio demonstrates the depth of true friendship and loyalty. And then, wisdom and intellect. Portia's shot which saves Antonio's life, showing how wisdom trumps over cruelty. And then, wealth and materialism. Through the suitors and the caskets, Shakespeare shows that wealth alone cannot buy love or character. And now, summary. The story begins in Venice, where Antonio, a generous merchant, supports his extravagant friend Bassanio. Bassanio, in love with the wealthy Portia of Belmont, seeks money to visit her in a grand manner. Antonio helps him by borrowing 3,000 ducats from Shylock, a moneylender who secretly hates him. The bond states that if Antonio fails to repay on time, Shylock may cut a pound of flesh from Antonio's body. In Belmont, Portia's father has devised a clever test for her suitors. They must choose between three caskets: gold, silver, and lead. The Prince of Morocco firstly chooses gold and fails. Secondly, the Prince of Spain chooses silver and fails. Finally, Bassanio wisely chooses the plain lead casket, proving that he values inner worth. Inside, he finds Portia's portrait and wins her heart. Their joy is short-lived. News arrives that Antonio's ships have been lost at sea, leaving him unable to repay Shylock. Shylock eagerly takes Antonio to court to claim his pound of flesh. Portia, disguised as a lawyer named Dr. Balthazar, appears in court. She urges Shylock to show mercy, but he refuses. Shylock insists on the strict terms of the bond. Finally, Portia cleverly points out that the bond allows Shylock only the flesh, but not a single drop of blood. If he sheds blood, he will lose his property under Venetian law. Realizing he has been defeated, Shylock abandons the claim and leaves the court in humiliation. Antonio's life is saved, and the story ends with harmony and gratitude. The Merchant of Venice remains one of Shakespeare's most powerful works because it reveals the complexities of human nature. Through Antonio's sacrifice, Bassanio's loyalty, Portia's intellect, and Shylock's bitterness, we see the eternal struggle between justice and mercy, appearance and reality, and love and hatred. The story teaches us that true wisdom lies not in wealth or power, but in compassion, humility, and moral courage. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more advanced literary content. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next lesson.